the vision is to have a space, to have a studio where artists and makers can come together.
Work together, create something new from waste materials.
Get Radio Breakfast with Rich Smith.
Really looking forward to catching up with my next guests, who are Mark and Monica, all about the Remakery Oxford. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Good morning, Rich.
Thanks so much for joining us this morning. Well, look, I wanted to sort of tell people what the Remakery was, but I actually went, do you know what? You guys are going to do a far better job of it. So Mark, tell us all about the Remakery.
Well, yeah, we'll try and do our best job. So, let me explain the Remakery. So it's
The space, first of all.
Yeah,
It's a community.
It's a community in a space. So this is the vision of the Remakery, and I guess every vision, every mission starts with the problem statement. So, what is the problem statement? The problem statement is resources, particularly materials. At the moment, we're struggling globally with scarcity of resources. Whether that's land for agriculture, whether it's energy, or in this case, materials. Clearly, with a growing population, we're running out of resources. But actually, waste is a very useful resource, and a resource that's going to become more and more relevant as the population grows to 11 billion, and we run out of resources that we mine from the ground, or we dredge from riverbeds, or whatever it is. So I guess what we're trying to do with the Remakery is shift people's awareness of the possibility of what you can do with waste as a resource and a material, sort of in a very ideological sense. And the vision is to have a space, to have a studio where artists and makers can come together.
Work together, create something new from waste materials.
Exactly that, and the amazing thing is, things are.
I'm just going to have to plug my laptop in. Sorry.
Plug it in quick before it runs out of battery. I love it. That's a great thing. Well, I'll ask a question just before the laptop runs out of the battery. But obviously, we're seeing more and more things are recycled, upcycled, and it keeps being surprising at various different things that can be upcycled, that can be changed, that can be kind of used again, reused, made into something else. And I guess that you're trying to sort of funnel this into everyday items and kind of get people involved and going, actually, do you know what? All of that stuff that you throw away, let's make something great and wonderful out of it.
Exactly that. And I think people don't know what's possible. The vision for the Remakery actually came from. So there was an exhibition in London. This is quite an interesting story. So we went at the start of the year. We went, myself and my family, my wife and my two kids. We went. We attempted to go ice skating at Somerset House, but the weather conditions weren't in our favour. So it was a very windy day. There was bits of debris all over the streets. It was quite unseasonably warm that day, and it was very wet. So when we got to the ice rink, there was people going around it in sort of ankle deep in water, and it didn't look like very good. And just as it was our turn to go on, they closed it. Okay, so what are we going to do here today? And then we discovered this exhibition. It's actually a maker space in London called Makerversity. It's well worth checking out. It's a maker space, and they were exhibiting. It's an innovation space, really. I think there's about 400. That use it. They come from, I think they come from quite far and wide, and they've invented things like this polyfloss machine, which can convert plastic into fibers, and actually they use that in humanitarian projects. Right. So for insulation, when they're putting up temporary shelters, things like that, they have a thing that was collecting, the particles from tires. Which obviously causes a lot of air pollution. So things like that. And in the library there, they had this book, which is really been our source of inspiration. And even Monica, who's been a trash artist for many years, learned a lot from this book. So I'll show it on the screen.
But we just need to say because
it's called Radical Matter by Kate Franklin and Caroline Till. And that book has taught us that you can make just about anything from anything.
Different examples in the book of what you can make from different type of resources, and it's quite amazing.
That is amazing. Monica, just to talk about you and as a trash artist, what surprising things have you made from surprising materials? I guess what would be your standout?
I started during my art uni in Poland. I started to deal with waste, with trash. Yeah. So I started to create some art installations and objects. Living objects from electric parts and electric trash, and this journey continues. Still is continuing from like when I moved to the UK. I started to run a project of the mobile art gallery, and I sell in the city center, so you can meet me. And I sell little objects and little pieces, like pieces of jewelry made of trash.
Wow.
So that's my project in Oxford, and that's how we meet with Mark.
Can I show him the magnets?
Yeah. But anyway.
I love this. This is a show and tell. This is fantastic. So
these coffee cups, right?
We just
wow.
So I create some fridge magnets in a mushroom shape made of recycled paper clay, which I made myself from recycled egg containers. So this type of really we can use paper, we can use electric parts, we can use wood, recycle wood, we can use plastic. The plastic is a big problem, so we can upcycle plastic, we can reuse. Really everything, almost everything.
Well, it seems like a perfect team with Mark with your kind of vision after coming back from London after missing out on some ice skating, and Monica with your artistic vision of creating beautiful things out of essentially rubbish. Mark, what does the future look like? Where are we kind of at the moment, and what does kind of next year, this is the first time I'm going to say this, but what does 2025 look like?
Well, hopefully it's going to be a big year. I mean, we have...
Maybe we should mention about the Remakery in London as well.
Yes.
Because it's quite important that we're going to be a part of bigger project.
Yeah, there is a Remakery in London, which I wasn't actually aware of when I had the idea, but Monica knew Mark, who runs the Brixton Remakery. It's just outside of Brixton, and they've been running. They've got a huge space actually. It's about 1,000 square feet, if I'm not wrong. There's another Mark who runs a Remakery in Brixton, and they've been going for about 10 years.
Yeah,
and they've received various grants and fundings. They support. Yeah, they support different makers. So they rent out the space. Yeah, they have bike repairs at the back. They've been very connected with the local community. Actually, when they were building the site, they had a lot of community involvement and support through grants, etc. So
I guess that's the kind of that's the goal for you guys as well, to kind of take that model from Brixton and kind of implement it in Oxford, and to get that space and to get like-minded people like yourself, Monica, and you as well, Mark, to kind of go, hey, there's like-minded people in here. We can do something about the issues of rubbish, of waste, and transform it into useful and better things.
I think it's twofold. I think it's what can we do with waste, and I think the important thing is the educational piece, and the community engagement. We are registered, so we've recently incorporated, so we are a CIC. So that's a community interest company. So it's slightly different from a charity, but we are a social enterprise, a non-profit. And as part of that, we have to demonstrate that we are serving the community, if you like. And I think there's, that's something we can definitely do through workshops and through education. And, my vision is rather than rather than charging artists and makers to use the space, we allow them to use the space, but in return they give something back to the community through workshops, through talks, or through whatever it is, inviting schools to come and visit it.
It sounds absolutely fascinating, and I wish you all the success with everything. I think this is a wonderful idea that is kind of just going to grow and flourish. If people are sort of interested and kind of want to sort of chat to you a little bit more, or even pick up some artwork from Monica as well, where can people find you, and whereabouts are you?
So we are quite new and fresh, so we don't have a website yet, but we are on Instagram. So we called Remakery Oxford, right?
Yes, just search Remakery Oxford.
Remakery Oxford on Instagram. Brilliant. So that's quite a good profile. You can follow me on Instagram as well as a card gallery, like a shopping cart, because it's little gallery on card.
Nice.
So
amazing.
During the Christmas time, probably this week, if the weather will help me.
Can't be any worse.
In the city center.
Amazing stuff. Well, look, I wish you all the success. It sounds like this is a fantastic idea in its infancy, and it's going to grow and blossom into something that is amazing and wonderful. Do come on in the new year when kind of I know more things are going to be happening with you both, and let us know more what's happening.
Can I just say one thing finally?
Go for it.
If anyone wants to support our cause, we're obviously willingly accepting donations. So the way you can do it at the moment is through the Oxford Lottery. You can go onto the Oxford Lottery website, and if you want to buy a ticket, you can donate that ticket towards a specific cause. And it's oxfordlottery.org/support/ the-remakery-Oxford. But if you just search Remakery Oxford on Oxford Lottery, you'll find us. So yeah, you can support us, and you might even win a £25,000 prize. So it's a win-win.
That's a win-win. It is lovely. Well, look, it's been absolutely wonderful catching up with you both, and I wish you all the success with it. I'm sure it's going to be absolutely fantastic. That is Mark and Monica there from the Remakery Oxford, and go and give them a follow on Instagram. Go do that right now.